welcome to Kansas City.
Thank you.
And I am Michele Mussatto from Unrated magazine Backstage, here with Jeremy of the Devil Wears Prada on the Killthrax Tour 2017. Rock and roll. Welcome to Kansas City.
Thank you.
As we were just saying, thankfully the rain has stopped.
Yeah, it's not bad.
This is nearing the end of your 33-city tour. So you've been playing just about every day or every other day for about 2 months now. Do you have any fun stories to tell?
All right, now it's the normal debauchery and fun. You know, we're all pretty tame except for the drinking bit. We're all pretty much married and have girlfriends and stuff. I think most of the guys on the tour are the same way, so it's not like the old 80s rock and roll lifestyle.
Right.
But, you know, any job that allows you to drink at it is going to come with some fun. So we get a little reckless and do that, but, you know, nothing too crazy, I guess.
Well, how do you keep your energy level up and your focus and stay in the game and keep from burning out?
I mean, we've been home for so long, like 3 or 4 months, which I guess is a long time for us. So we're just pumped to get back out and be playing again. The crowds have been awesome. Like, kind of, you know, you come out and they're like, all right, what's this going to be? And then second song, they're already pumped and feeling it, which is our job out here to get them warmed up and ready to go. So it's awesome. They're just great metal crowds.
Of course, you feed off of their excitement.
Oh yeah, very much so. It's kind of a, I don't know, what do you call that, relationship between the two, symbiotic relationship kind of, so it's awesome.
Awesome. I love your singing.
Thank you.
Which did you start first, singing or playing guitar?
I guess I was always singing since I was a little kid, but I didn't really start taking it seriously until I was in high school. I was in drama club, and so I was always on the dramatic side of things, and my drama teacher was like, well, maybe you should try singing as well so you can do the musicals and not just that. And so worked with me and then forced me into like a private tutor and stuff like that, and just kind of developed a voice from there. So I was doing that, and then I played guitar since I was like 13. Or something like that. My dad played it growing up, so played it in Pink Floyd and stuff like that. So I guess I really wasn't even looking to play guitar in a band when we found this one. I was singing in a couple of little different bands, but just found them online, and they hadn't even played a show yet. And hit them up, missed the first show, played the second one, and then I brought our bass player, and him and I went to high school together after like the fourth show or something. So,
So that's Andy.
Yeah.
Alrighty, and then did Mike Ronica start the band then?
Our old drummer Dan started the band with our old guitar player Chris and James, our old keyboard player, and then Mike joined shortly after that. It's kind of funny, I guess the last 3 in, or the only 3 still in, but it's kind of like that was pretty much the original lineup from the beginning of playing shows and everything. So yeah, it's crazy.
How old were you when you started the Devil Wears Prada?
17, 18, something like that. I think Mike was still 16. He was in high school. So we went on our first tour all summer and came back, and him and Chris went to high school the whole rest of the year, and then we started touring full time after that. So our label was like, what the heck? You didn't tell us you were still in high school?
And what was your first label?
Rise Records.
Rise,
We're back on now. Yeah, so they're great people, great label, take good care of us. So.
Good. Did you resist a label at first?
No, not even at all. I mean, we had no expectations of anything at all. Beginning of the band, it was just supposed to be fun and playing in our local music scene, and just kind of sent, I think Chris had sent our demo that we recorded out to a couple of different labels just for fun, and Rise hit us back, and he always says it was one of the worst deals he ever signed because it was a very favorable deal for us. And he's like, we had no idea what was coming. So I just love Craig for that. He's a great guy, and he worked really hard to build the label up from virtually nothing, just a small label distributed through another label, and now it's massive and has all kinds of artists and stuff. So he's a real hardworking guy and great to work with.
That's awesome. Wow. 2006 you toured, you did the Crossroads Festival. Was that your first tour? Or I guess that wasn't a tour, it was a festival.
Oh, the Cornerstone
Yeah,
Festival.
is that where you guys got discovered?
I think we were already signed to Rise by that point, but yeah, that was a fun little. It was just a different era. We weren't even on the festival. We drove out there and kind of like snuck in, I think, using like wristbands that somebody else had, and then we just paid people to play on their stages that were powered by these little generators. So. I know people are like, you have any advice for young bands? Like, just go out there and start doing it. Stop asking people, you know? Like,
awesome.
If you're not willing to put in the work, how could you expect anything to come out of it, you know?
So after that festival, what happened?
I was just started grinding. We got very fortunate. We picked up an agent, Dave Shapiro, early on, and he's one of the best in the industry now. He's kind of a smaller guy back then, and started putting us on tours. And we did some stuff with Silverstein, and then they ended up taking us out. And we did a Sounds the Underground tour with like War, Chimera, Every Time I Die, Shadow Small, and stuff like that. And we pretty much would play anywhere for anyone, regardless of genre, anything. We just take any tour, anytime, and do it. And then just kind of rode the wave up, and something connected with the fan base, and still are doing it 11 years later, so it's crazy, yeah.
And you just keep getting better. How do you feel about your last album?
Very proud of it.
Transit Blues.
Yeah, the old Transit Blues. It's very proud for me, just because it was a big community effort. Everybody contributed massive amounts towards the songwriting and the playing and everything on it. It was just a much more communal effort than our last few releases, and I think that's just kind of the vibe and the direction we're going towards is more communal. It kind of creates a more, I guess, diverse sound rather than just the same that you've heard a million times before and that we've done a million times before. So Kyle, our guitar player, just thinks very differently than I do, and Mike thinks very differently, and John, our keyboard player, thinks very differently. And so when you start blending all those ideas together, it creates this kind of weird soup that's like a little different than just a one-minded thing. So I think we'll keep that spirit alive.
Did you go into it, Transit Blues addresses being on the road and missing your family. Did you go into it with that feeling, or did it transition into that as you're writing?
Yeah, kind of. So a lot of it was something we tried to do on this was Kyle had a bunch of bare bones skeletons of songs, just kind of rhythm guitar parts and stuff. And we chopped that up with some of the other demos that I had and John, our keyboard player, had. But what we tried to do this time was have Mike write the lyrics to it and tell us what the meaning of the song was and what it was going to be, and then let that influence our lead parts and our texture guitars and stuff like that.
Yeah, sure.
You know, we're kind of gothy, like to do all the weird shoegazy type stuff in there anyway. So there's certain parts. There's a song called Lock and Load that's about gun violence and try to do some siren-y type stuff. And there's a song called Daughter that's about a mother not loving her daughter and try to get real mopey with that. And other ones, the Worldwide, try to capture some of the feeling of traveling in Tokyo and things like that in it. So that was very different from us. Normally we just write the whole song out and then give it to Mike and he'll write his stuff to it. So we're trying to do things more from that other perspective.
That's
Sorry to ramble.
Your creative process is very interesting. Did you lump yourselves together or lock yourselves in a room or a house?
Yeah, so we rented 2 different Airbnbs. One was in Wisconsin, really nice family. They actually happened to be, he was like a beer brewer, so he had like this big barn, he had like a bunch of taps with beer and stuff, and it was like homemade beer. It's really, really good. And they actually we did this like special edition photo book that just came out, like a special vinyl, and they were like super. They just sent us an email a couple days ago, and we're like, "Oh, guys, we love the book. We love seeing like their property and stuff." So I think we're gonna do that again next time we write. It's just kind of seclude ourselves, and like we're all really, like, especially just the guys in the band are really, really good friends. And Ben, our tour manager, is like a family. Like I've been friends with Mike and Andy for 12 years now. Kyle, it feels like 12 years. So just living in that environment is fun. We watch sports, we drink, we cook meals together. Everybody's a pretty good cook, so you just take turns cooking, and it's really fun. And then a lot of weird songs come out of it. So
it is remarkable to be together 12 years and still love each other and be creative together.
Very fortunate, and that the fan base even cares anymore is awesome. It just feels really lucky. The older you get, the more you try not to take it for granted and really appreciate. People don't have to care. They don't have to spend their money on the things that you do. So you appreciate it.
The Devil Wears Prada was the name kind of connotes anti-materialism.
Mm-hmm.
As you find yourself a little more well-to-do and a little more accepted, do you find yourself losing that bit of it?
I don't think so. I think we still try and hold on to those same tenets. Like, we've never really been a band that's about like self-worship and like, look at me, look what I can do. It's been more about the band itself and not the individual members. And so that's something that Mike has always tried to instill in us. I think we still try and take very seriously, especially just being entertainers. That's what we are. We're not meant to be glorified or anything. It's just we're there to entertain you and have fun and release some energy and stuff. So I guess, hey, I don't make enough money to be materialistic. So.
Well, not yet. We'll see. So many artists starting out find themselves engrossed in addiction to alcohol, drugs. What do you attribute to staying away from that?
Drugs are a little bit easier, I guess. Like, it's not really, I guess I was kind of into that stuff when I was a younger teen, and so I kind of got it out of my system then. But it's so unattractive on the road, and it's just like, the days are already long enough. I can see how easy it is to fall into that, but if you can't start your day cracking a beer, you can't just fall into it. I don't know. I think it's one of those things that you hear about, you think you won't see, and the longer you're in it, the more you see it, but it's just never really been something for us, I guess. So.
Perhaps the fact that there's not a lot of emotional tension.
Yeah, right. Yeah, there's no reason to hide out and do whatever, I guess.
That's awesome. So you're from Dayton. Are most of the members then?
Yeah, so all the guys that started the band were from Dayton. We all went to like surrounding high schools. Now Mike, Andy, and I live in Chicago. Kyle lives right around the lake in Niles, Michigan, kind of like Notre Dame area. John, our keyboard player, lives here in Kansas City.
Oh, he does?
Yeah, I think he's on the Kansas side, maybe KCK, but and then Giuseppe, our drummer that's playing with us now, lives in Pittsburgh. So, but I live a mile away from Mike and Andy in different directions. So
Nice.
we hang out. My wife is best friends with his wife, and yeah, it's great.
A lot easier.
much easier.
All right. Well, you're not far from home. I lived in Chicago for 15 years.
Nice.
So,
Where'd you live at there?
Mostly the South Side.
Okay.
Yeah.
What cross streets were you?
Brighton Park. It was 38th and Western.
Okay, nice. Yeah, my brother goes to U Chicago for a pastry
Yeah,
right now, so he
wasn't
lives
too
in
far
Hyde
from
Park.
there.
Yeah, it's like 55th and something. I forget.
Yeah, it is.
I live in Wicker Park, so like subterranean.
That's
so.
sweet. Yeah. Used to hang out at the Metro.
Yeah. A lot of fun.
So, you guys Cubs fans then?
No, still Cincinnati Reds fan.
Yeah.
Keep the hometown spirit. Yeah.
Wow. So what do you like most about Chicago?
It's just, it feels like a big city, but it still keeps that Midwest vibe. It's not too, I don't know, feels like most of the people there are from the Midwest. They kind of aggregate there, and it's less like New York, where everybody's from all over and they just come there and kind of build this. I like New York; it's awesome, but it's just so expensive. It's not Chicago is too, but
yeah, no. At least you can find a place to live in.
yeah, that's true.
Cool. So you've got like 4 more stops to make, and then what are you doing with the tour?
So after that, we have like 4 shows, I think, 2 or 4. I can't remember how many.
Yeah.
With all the remains to like end this thing out. So I think they're just coming off the tour, and we are. So we're linking up for a few shows, and then we go home for a few weeks, and then we go to Europe for about 5 or 6 weeks. So playing a bunch of big festivals, Download in London, and it's our first time going to Greece, our first time going to Spain, and Bulgaria, a lot of cool stuff like that. So it's gonna be great. A lot of metalheads over in that part of the world.
Yeah. So, do you see a new record, another record coming?
We're not writing, I'll tell you that, but it's not. We're still kind of trying to. We haven't really had a chance to go out and play as much of Transit Blues as we want to yet.
Yeah.
We've almost kind of built this thing now to where when we do a record, we go out and play it. I don't know if we'll do it front to back. I doubt we will. It's a lot of material, but we'll try and play as much of it as we can. We've been playing the song worldwide on this tour, and it's gone over really well. So sorry, my allergies are bothering me. I'm not a cokehead, I promise you. I'm like rubbing my nose. I think we're going to be doing some more touring later this year, so it'd be nice to be able to play more of Transit Blues and some of the new stuff and do that. So,
what kind of education have you gotten touring with these 35-year veterans of Anthrax?
Excuse me. It's kind of funny because, like I said, we were so young when we started, and it was a really weird time to where we were always the youngest band on tour coming up, and so. If anything, we don't really even learn anymore from these kind of guys because we did for so long. Like we toured with Killswitch like 6-7 years ago or something, which is insane to think about. But going out with bands of that caliber and Slipknot and Slayer and like playing arenas with those guys, and then just doing Warped Tour and everything, and we really have learned from those older people. So now that we're not old, we're near 30, most everybody, but it's awesome because we carry ourselves with such a level of professionalism and stuff. Jesse from Killswitch was like, man, you guys are just on it every day. I'm like, dude, that's such a high compliment from somebody that also is, we were just fortunate to get our heads bashed in by older dudes growing up on it. That's not how you do it. Get your crap out of the way, So.
That helps. Awesome. So 2 top 10 Billboard singles.
Yeah, that's crazy.
6 studio albums, and you're not even 30.
Yeah, that's insane. I know. I was like, somebody was telling me how many like total albums or something we had sold, and I was like, that's just nauseating. It's insane to think about because just don't want to spend too much time on that. Just want to keep moving forward and keep creating and playing and. I think, right now we're probably playing tighter than we ever have. Kyle was kind of a kick in the butt and going, hey, we're sloppy, let's get better. And so we've kind of made a tradition now of going out to his house before the tour, Andy and I, and just get all 3 guitars synced up real tight before we even start band rehearsals. So it's nice.
Very cool. What advice would you have now that you are veterans yourselves to younger aspiring musicians?
Just work ethic, man. Like, that is your reputation. That's all you have. Get out there and play shows. Everybody wants to know what site can I put my music on, what can I do. It doesn't matter if you don't. Like, I've seen so many bands come up and be the next hot band, and then they play on one tour and they just die because everyone's like, they suck live. And like in this business, if you can't sell tickets, you're basically not even a band really at that point, just because that's the only way to make money, is to do that. So if that is your aspiration, make sure you're good live. If not, make sure your music's good enough that people will listen to it anyway. So I think it's just work.
Where do you want to see your music go in the future?
I'd like to just see how weird we can get and still stay within our vein, but I don't think that's going to be a problem. We're super weird. A lot of weird ideas.
Like
So,
it.
yeah.
Awesome. Well, Jeremy, it's been a real pleasure.
Thank you. Thank
Enjoyed
you so
the
much.
rest of your
Thank you for having me.
tour. Rock tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Jeremy DePoyster, The Devil Wears Prada, singer, rhythm guitarist.
Great questions. Thank you.